Hello and welcome to Defining Moves Expat Lifeline first introductory video that shows you how you receive your link to the Smartsheet website, how you access the Smartsheet and how you start using your Expat Lifeline. So with no further ado, I'm going to take you to my email box. So you see here I've received an email from Rachel Yates via Smartsheet. You open up, that's obviously it'll be the same from myself, Rachel Yates. You open up your email and within it you'll see a link to the Smartsheet page, the Expat Lifeline. So click on the link and it'll take you to the Smartsheet site. Now wait for a few moments while the Smartsheet is loading because I want to see whether... Okay, so because I've used Smartsheet before, it recognizes my computer, unfortunately, so I can't show you the page that you will see. But what you will see is a box asking you to input a password. So just choose a password and put it in. That will then take you to a screen that offers you lots of videos that Smartsheet have produced to help you use this product. For now, you can close on the video. Bear in mind that there's lots of help out there within this program, within this platform, on how to use the spreadsheets in general. For our purposes, for Expat Lifeline, we've developed a whole series of individual videos that help you use this specific template that you're paying for. So without further ado, this is what your template will look like. As you can see, it's blank, apart from all these categories that we have actually preloaded to help guide you through the process of Expat Life, really. I'd like to say it was just an assignment, but the whole point of our spreadsheet is that it helps you plan your entire expat life, or even your life before, during and after. So relocation and repatriation. It helps us view the long term because one of the biggest problems within international assignments and expat lives is that we tend to view it in 2 or 3 year assignment length chunks, and we very rarely spend time taking the longer view. So that's the idea of this spreadsheet. It helps you manage the tasks and it helps you plan. As you can see, we've got needs assessment, the pre-visit, residency requirements. You can see as you scroll down that we've got lots of different categories that help you give an overview of the tasks that you'll face, the issues that you might cross. All of these have some sort of background to them. I know that sounds very vague. What I mean by that is we have asked for this information, or we're encouraging you to input this information for very specific reasons. Usually because either ourselves or people we know have run into difficulties while on assignments or while trying to get on assignments because they haven't had immediate access to this information, or because they haven't combined this information with other factors, which you'll see further down. So that's the reason why we're asking you to input all this information. And you don't have to do it in one huge chunk. You can if you want to, but a lot of the time we input the information gradually as it comes across our desk. So for needs assessment and the pre-visit, we have included, you can see these little paper clips. Now these paper clips relate to PDF uploads that we've put. These are all checklists and tasks lists and workbooks that you can work through if you're not sure what we mean by needs assessment or planning or the pre-visit. So we've given you a little bit of help there. Lots of you who've already been on assignment will know what we mean. But these are a chance for you to stop, download the PDFs and think about it offline. Without having to feel that, oh, you've got to have internet access and we have to do it now. Just work through them gradually, just a bit at a time. You don't have to do them all, it's completely up to you. But we have found that the better you assess your own needs and the more you plan your pre-visit, the better results that you will get, the easier your life will be in the future. So I've actually inadvertently just introduced you to one of the 4 columns here that precede our actual categories. So the first column you won't need to use for this at this point, but it's the editing column. It allows you to edit, cut, paste rows. So I don't want you to do anything with this. We'll just close that down by clicking on another link. So we'll just ignore that for now, but we will be coming to that in later videos. As we just mentioned, the second column has a little paperclip icon where there are attachments there. You can see where there's a blank square. When I scroll over it with my mouse, you'll get a paperclip and a little blue cross. I don't know if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Certainly when you try it on your own screen, you'll be able to see it. That blue cross indicates that you can upload your own information. Now the same applies for the ones that there is already a paperclip. This column allows you to upload additional information. So you can see I've just clicked on the paperclip and we've got a box loading here slowly because we have really slow internet today. And it'll give you options to attach from Google Drive, Box, a link, so a URL, whatever. So you can upload from your own computer. And you'll see there it'll give you all my files, which we won't go through because most of them are not useful. So we'll talk about how this is useful in more depth later, but just bear in mind that as you create documents, you might want to think about uploading your passport application form or copies of your vaccination history. There's a huge range, there's no limit to the relevant documents that you might want to upload. The advantage of this site is that it has high levels of security, which is why we've chosen it. So it allows us to upload information with confidence and know that it's in one place. The attach from is really useful when you want to keep information, say maybe the link to a relevant article or a link to the website of a number of tax lawyers we're considering or schools that you're considering. You can actually add these, or you may have information on your Google Drive, but you can add these in relevant places on your spreadsheet. The third column here is what's called the discussion column. And this is a brilliant tool for using, as you can see, we've actually uploaded some discussions already. So where we have something to say about this line item, and we have a lot to say on a lot of them, you'll notice this, we've already included something to explain why we've included that line item or what you need to be thinking about, what you need to be discussing with your partner, your HR company. So if I click on this one, you'll see there's actually just a test one from one of our early testers. On the passport renewal period, you'll see there's some very specific, I've even put it in capital letters, that remember that while your passports are being renewed, you will not be able to leave the country, renew your visa or carry out any legal transactions that require it as a proof of identity. We know this because we were selling a house and our passports needed renewing. And we were in the position we couldn't leave the country because our visas were in our passports and our passports were in the embassy. So there's something to think about. We know because it happened to us, it made life very difficult for a short period of time there. And it's not something that you necessarily think about. But the same deal applies if you have ill relatives or if your children have exams, those sort of things. You can start thinking about passport requirements. So that's the discussion section. The other advantage of it, if I open it up again, is that you can add your own comment, and we encourage you to do this. This is part of the value of this site or of this template. You need to start keeping a record, keeping a log of what was said and the thoughts you had. So passport renewal is probably a more vague one, but this is something when you come across a potential conflict, you might want to record it. Okay, we're going to have to think about when we need to renew our passports. We are going home 9 months before they're expired. Should we be thinking about renewing them then? Once you've made that sort of comment or any sort of comment, you can then share it by email. So you can email it to whoever you choose, to your spouse, to your HR departments. You can include links to the discussion attachments. Again, another advantage, people can actually upload so the answers to your questions into this discussion section. Again, it's just keeping a record of some of the things that have been going on, but keeping a record of them in the relevant place rather than you having to constantly scurry through your inbox to try and find emails from a huge range of disparate people. You can actually just include those people in the discussion just in that single line. So that's the discussion section. The final column that we're going to look at now is the information section, and this is one of my favorites because this is the bit where you can set reminders, and for me this is hugely important. You can not just set them for yourself, you can also set them to people that you might have assigned the task to your spouse, to your children, HR departments, shipping companies. You can send a reminder and you will all get the same reminder. So that, for me, is a hugely valuable thing. Once you've made your plan, once you've identified issues that need to be discussed, you can actually set a reminder and put it on autopilot. So that's the first 3 columns that we're going to look at. The final thing I want to look at in this video, before we really start looking at the nitty-gritty in more detail, is the nesting. Because for many of you, looking at the huge list of things we're asking you to do is a bit daunting. So one of the huge advantages of this package, of this template, this platform, is that you can nest. What I mean by nest is simply pressing on the minus square next to the title, and all the categories that pertain to that heading will nest within them. We've preloaded this, so you don't have to fiddle about with it. All you have to do is nest. And you can see we've nested. Oh, suddenly it looks much more doable. Your spreadsheet has been reduced down to just a few lines, which is really, really helpful for people like me who get distracted very easily, to just be able to work on one specific area at a time, or just have one area on my screen at a time. I find that hugely helpful. So there we go. All right, well, thank you for listening. Let's hope that's got you started, at least opened up the sheet and given you something to think about before the next video for how you might use the sheet and what you might want to be uploading onto it. And we'll be back next time with how to use the sheet in more detail and taking each category at a time. Thanks very much. Take care. Bye-bye.